Boulevard TV. Beyond the policy.
Good morning and welcome to the Business Update segment. I am Clement Yabankwe, your host. On today's story, starting with the Bank of Ghana has temporarily suspended Consolidated Bank Ghana's CBG foreign exchange trading license for 1 month, effective November 26, 2024, citing Section 11.2 of the Foreign Exchange Act 2006 Act 723. The Bank of Ghana stated on November 12 that this decision was due to several breaches of foreign exchange regulations. The violations also involved non-compliance with the updated guidelines for inward remittance service for payment service providers and the anti-money laundering guidelines. In our second story, in the first half of 2024, Ghana secured $179.07 United States million in foreign direct investments, according to the Ghana Investment Promotion Center second quarter 2024 investment report. This total includes an FDI portion of $179.07 million United States dollars and a local portion of $7.09 million United States dollars, with initial transfer reaching $17.73 million United States dollars. These investments are expected to create 8,524 jobs across sectors like agriculture, building and construction, exports and general trade. During this period, 69 projects were registered. Of these, 53 were fully foreign owned, making up 76.8% of the projects, with a combined investment of $177.7 million United States dollars. The remaining 16 projects, or 23.2%, were joint ventures between Ghanaian and foreign partners, totaling $8.37 million United States dollars in estimated investment costs. In our last story, Ghana's ambitious petroleum hub project, launched by President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, is progressing steadily towards transforming the nation's petroleum downstream sector into a modern, diverse and financially sustainable energy economy.
The Petroleum Hub aims to provide all households and industries in Ghana with reliable, affordable and environmentally sustainable energy, while creating 780 direct and indirect jobs for Ghanaians. To support the success of this major project, the Petroleum Hub Development Corporation is actively involved in workforce development, equipping Ghanaians to take advantage of the future opportunities linked to the hub. In line with this goal, Charles Owusu Esquire, FCA and CEO of Petroleum Hub Development Corporation, recently completed a groundbreaking 3-day working visit to Las Palmas in the Canary Islands, Spain. During the trip, he met with key international partners to strengthen Ghana's capacity and also enhance technical cooperation in the Petroleum Hub.
This is how we end up the Business Update segment on Cocoa Digest Morning Show. I am Clement Yabankwe. Do enjoy the rest of the show.
Welcome. Today we are talking about moving away from commodity, and we are talking about industrialization agenda of Ghana. I have with me my co-host Clementia Bankwe to help me digest this. Later on the show we'll be joined by a finance expert in the person of Mr. Stephen Kwashi. But for now I'll do this with my co-host. Hello, Clement.
Hello.
Yeah, so the topic for today is about commodity, moving away from commodity. And we know Ghana is more into raw materials. We are into, before independence, we were into expanding our raw material basis. But post-independence, we realized Nkrumah, whose name we will forever mention when it comes to industrialization, he was so much into bringing up this, changing this raw materials into something that value will be added to, and it will help the economy become robust. What do you have to say about this?
Yeah, so it's a good thing we are discussing this today, because looking at our current economy, this issue happens to be one of the major causes of what we face. With the issue of this unemployment that is really in the system, with the issue of economic hardship, we believe that if we don't, or we add more value to our raw materials, then I must say, it's going to expand the economy. And our GDP is going to boom very, very up. I won't talk much, but a little I would say on this very matter is that our leaders need to bring up a lot of policies. We know they are really doing well, but there should be a lot of policies being implemented so that this issue of moving beyond the commodity level would really be appreciated. Because we are in this country where we mine gold, we mine bauxite, but at the end of the day, we export everything outside the country. So we end up getting little out of what we own, because I must say, we own all these natural resources. But the question is, why is it that these natural resources, after we own them, it goes outside to US and other countries, they would refine it, and at the end of the day, we end up buying gold rings at very expensive times. Before we came on the lifestyle segment, they were discussing about getting married. I'm so confused, because looking at the cost of gold ring now, I must say it's something that I will get closer, because businessman, the monetary aspect is very, very important to me. That's what I would say on this.
Well, so you cannot talk about industrialization without talking about technology, you know.
True.
Yes, and there's a challenge when it comes to technology, because people would say it's expensive, and I feel like government have tried so many policies out, and the sustainability of the policy is the issue.
That's true.
We have one district, one factory, one D1F. Yes, so it started, but as it stands now, it's shaky a bit.
It's shaky.
Yeah, so government has tried, but how to make this and let our country be a robust country when we talk about industrialization is what we have to look at.
That's very true. So let me say this last thing before our guest will come in. I must say that one D1F is a good policy, but the whole issue needs to do with the structures or the way of its implementation. If proper structures were laid down for everybody to understand what goes into one D1F, trust me, like the issue of unemployment we are facing today would other. This then has become quite of a political agenda. So people are not really seeing the importance or the impacts of the one D1F on the economy. That is all these issues are happening.
All right. So to join us discuss this, I have in the studios the CEO of PrintPro Ghana Consults Limited in the person of Mr. Stephen Kwashi, and he is a finance expert and an entrepreneur and a strong foundation in public and private sector. Am I right, sir? You are welcome to the studios of Clock TV. How are you doing?
Thank you very much. I'm actually happy to be here. I love everything that is going on. I was listening to the conversation we're having, and I think this a very good agenda we need to push.
Okay.
Yeah, I love your African print.
Oh, thank you very much.
This is what you are promoting.
Exactly.
You're actually promoting made in Ghana goods and how we can consume our own products.
Yeah.
I think mine is made in Ghana.
Then
oh,
that's
really?
fantastic. If
your suit is made in Ghana?
Yes,
if we can produce suits like this, then we are
promoting industrialization
exactly.
as a topic we are coming to treat right now. So you are a finance expert, and aside that you are into rabbit's poultry, right?
Yeah.
Rabbit production.
Yeah.
Is it the production of the rabbits or the processing, because we are talking about industrialization here. Yeah. But at what point in time did you decide to enter into farming, and why rabbits?
Okay, first of all, I want to salute all my leaders. A lot of people are watching us, my professors, I have my mates, I have Maoli School, the entire Maoli School people are watching.
Hello, Maoli School.
Yes, they are watching, and I really appreciate their attention. And this conversation we are about to have, it has the capacity to create cash flows for the citizens.
Okay.
To answer your question, I was in the northern region, Upper West. That was the first time I was at the north. When I got to the north, I saw a rabbit farm.
Okay.
And that was the first time I actually saw a rabbit farm. And when I got close, I was seeing that, how come this region, that region is very hot. If you've been to Tamale or the App, it's very hot. And I was thinking that rabbits cannot survive in hot temperature.
Okay.
But when I got closer, I just took one or two inspirations from there. Immediately I got back to Accra in 2020. I just started the rabbit farming. 2020, I started rabbit farming. I spoke with a couple of people. I did my own research, and I entered. I had a choice to do either free range or do the cage system.
Okay.
Then I did my analysis, and I realized that the cage system is going to help me produce more. And I'm not just into the production, I'm also into the processing. So we do rabbit kebab, and we serve at events.
Wow.
That's
Locally. Wow, that's your inspiration. Okay.
From the north. And another point is that we also use the rabbit droppings for fertilizer in farming. So there are some farmers that come into my farm and they pick the droppings, the rabbit droppings, and they use for fertilizer in their farms.
Wow, that's interesting.
Exactly.
Because your I wouldn't say output, but your how do I say it? Like the feces of the rabbits now become someone's manure to help produce more. Yeah, so that's interesting then. So have you been facing any challenges when it comes to the processing of the rabbits?
Every business actually have their own challenges, and from the production phase, we have challenges with feed, especially when the feed cost increased recently. So you need to purchase the feed, mix it and give it to the rabbit before they hit the target, before you can actually send it to the slaughter people where they slaughter it and to be converted to the kebabs. So my main issue with rabbit farming is the feed cost. And it is the feed cost because the cost of grains are also increasing, and it will go back to agriculture and mechanization, which we are going to delve into it.
Wow. So rabbits, I feel like people are not so much into rabbits. Like, why would I eat rabbits when there's chicken, when there's meat and all that? How is it different from all other animals?
I really get this reaction from a lot of people when I tell them I'm into rabbit farming, because it's not a popular meat, but it is one of the most nutritious white meat in the world. And in Ghana, during the Feed the Ghana agenda, Feed Yourself, Operation Feed Yourself, one of the focus meats we were using was rabbits. And across all the barracks, they instructed the soldiers to actually farm rabbit because it is very prolific. It can produce more than 8 to 10 kids in just a month.
Okay.
The gestation period is just 1 month. So within a year, a rabbit can produce about 6 times.
Wow.
So it produces more, 10 to 12, and it produces faster. So when we are actually in crisis and we are looking for a protein to depend on, we need to look back to rabbit meat. It was done before, but we've forgotten. What saved us in crisis, we've forgotten. And we are relying heavily on other proteins. Not to say other proteins are bad, but we need to, diversify. So that when we are hit with chicken shortage or cow shortage, we will know that we have another protein source, which is a very fantastic protein source. I don't know if you've eaten rabbit meat before.
I haven't. Clement, you have something to say as well.
I'll bring one to the office for you to taste. And if you taste rabbit meat, I always say that rabbit meat is meat for leaders.
Wow. Why is that so?
Because if you look at the nature of rabbit, their production is fast, and it involves speed.
Okay.
Fast and speed. And in this economy, what we need is speed to progress.
Okay.
So if you venture into rabbit farming and you understand the production of rabbit, it will open your mindset.
Okay.
You begin to do wonderful things.
All right. So we are talking about commodities here. We know Ghana is a raw material. Mostly we are into the raw material, and we are trying to put our feet on the ground when it comes to industrialization.
Exactly.
We have cocoa, and we have the cocoa transformation into chocolate.
Yeah.
But the sustainability of these, there are countries who don't produce cocoa now. They are trying to produce it and also transform it. What is happening to our raw materials, and what is happening to our industries?
Okay, first of all, I would like the public to understand what the commodity is. So a commodity is a tradable good that is used for consumption and production. And there are multiple examples of commodities. So like you mentioned, the cocoa, we have the oil, we have the wheat, we have timber. In fact, Ghana, we are blessed. We have a lot. But our problem is the processing of these commodities. And it allows me to at least educate the public about the economic errors we have in history.
Okay.
Because industrialization is linked to wealth. And for you to understand wealth, you need to understand the history of economic errors. And there are about seven economic errors. And when we go through, number 6 is going to blow your mind.
Please go ahead.
So the first one is we have the agriculture age. And in the agriculture age, land is equal to wealth. Land is a symbol of wealth.
Okay.
And the second one is the industrialization age. In industrialization age, machine is equal to wealth. The owners of machines, they are the wealthy people.
Okay.
And the third economic era, we have the distribution age. So distribution age, outlets, stores, warehouses, those things are equal to wealth.
Okay.
Then we come to the fourth, that's where we enter into the technology realm, and where speed is of the essence.
Okay.
So technology age, tech know-how is equal to wealth. Then we come to the information age. So this is number 4. Information age, we have the channels of information is equal to wealth.
Okay.
So what we are doing here, Clock TV, is a channel of information, and it can produce wealth that will blow all of us our minds.
Okay.
If we harness it very well. That is why I love your tagline, beyond the policy.
Yeah.
I really love it.
Thank you.
I really love it. And the fifth one, the sixth one is the combination of technology and information, which is IT.
Okay.
And it is combined with education and entertainment. So I call it the IT edutainment era.
I see.
And in that era, content and attention is equal to wealth. So if you see people doing music and dance, creativity, those people are the champions of wealth now. I think By the time we are done, you understand areas we can diversify into as a country. And the last one, economic era, is strategic partnership.
Okay.
Where good partners, strong partners, is equal to wealth. And it explains the reason why Russia, that has been sanctioned, is the most sanctioned country in the world. Their economy is still robust. Their economy is still standing because they have strategic partnership with China. As a nation, we need to, now, after listening this, you now understand where industrialization stands. It is at number 2.
Okay.
The world is at class 7, and we are in class 2. And for class 1, we've not passed class 1 very well.
The land?
Okay.
Yeah, the land.
Okay.
The agriculture age. We've not passed class 1 very well. And we promoted ourselves to class 2. That is why we are struggling with factories. That's why we are struggling with agro-processing. Because even if you build the factories, where are the inputs coming from? Have we mechanized our farms so that we will have enough inputs to feed our factories? That's why when we build the factories collapse. Because the inputs are not around.
Okay, so with that, on the first one, you said agriculture age, that's land is equal to wealth.
Exactly.
And your point says that we've not been able to utilize that age well, but we are moving to industrialization. How do we then, let's combine. How do we then combine the land age to the class 2, which is industrialization, what we are talking about now? Because we believe that we need to go beyond what we extract from the land, what we get from the soil and everything. So how do we then balance these two?
Yeah, it is, in fact, because we are in class 2 or class 1, we've seen what other people have done. Class 3, class 4 people, we've seen what they have done. So it's even an advantage for us to copy. In this era, we copy, imitate, and we put it in our context to develop. So industrialization is available for us, and I told you that machine is equal to wealth.
Yeah.
We now need to apply machine to the land. Before technology will help you, it will hurt you. So if you combine machine with land, most of your workforce will go unemployed.
Exactly.
Yes.
But when they go unemployed, the technology, the agro-processing, it releases a whole chain of value where those people will begin to feed into it. That is where training and upskilling become very important. So technology will hurt you, it will reduce the workforce at the land.
Yeah.
Then it will move it into the factories so that people can, do a lot of work there.
Wow. That's interesting.
Yeah.
It's very interesting.
It's an
I must say.
insight.
Very deep.
Very interesting.
That's why earlier I told you that this conversation, it has the capacity to create cash flow for citizens.
Yes.
I'm telling you.
Yes. So I have a question regarding the machine age of you said machine is equal to wealth,
Exactly.
of which currently we need to combine that to the land so that we can move in the industrialization.
Exactly.
And when we do that, technology too will solve the problem of unemployment we have. So if all these things is supposed to be done, now we are in the era where unemployment has become headache of this economy. How do we now solve this issue? Whilst we are moving beyond commodity, whilst we are moving on this tangent that we want to move into industrialization, how do Ghana, in all the policies we have, put together and solve the issue of unemployment in this current era?
Before we continue with that, let's take a quick break and we'll be right back with our conversation. So before we went on the break, you asked him a question. Yes. So can you repeat your question for the sake of our viewers who just joined?
Yes. So he made mention of the fact that we need to combine the land to machine so that the industrialization process would really go on very well. But we know when we do that, there's going to be an issue of unemployment because the machine is now going to take the work that human resources need to do. Machine is going to take that. You also mentioned of the technology coming in to solve that problem. In Ghana, as we have now, how are we going to manage this situation, combining machine and land, and also solve the situation of unemployment in our current economy?
Yeah, thank you very much. And like I said earlier, technology will have to hurt you before it helps you.
Okay.
And for us, we've allowed it to hurt us more than it helps us. So when we combine technology, machines to land, we are going to increase productivity.
Yeah.
Maybe it takes 10 people to farm 10 acres of land in 10 days. If we apply machine to that land, it will take, let's say, 2 people with 1 machine, and we'll do it in 1 day, and we'll produce more. So when you produce more, this plenty production, where is it going to go? So the economic errors, when you watch it, it is one problem that opens the door for another problem.
Exactly.
Excess production opens the door for agro-processing. Then agro-processing opens the door for distribution because we are processing a lot of things. Why are you going to save them? Why are you going to keep them? So the opportunities are actually enormous. It's a lot. We just need to open our economy to agro-processing. Factories. In fact, when we see our people moving outside, most of them are going to do factory works. We export the raw materials outside, and our people struggle here. What we are actually doing is we are exporting the jobs. If we know we will export the jobs by exporting raw materials, then let's help our people legally migrate them to where the factories are. Do you get it? Yeah. Because the agro-processing is going to open the value chain where a lot of people have a lot of things to do. A lot of things to do. And one of the things that we'll discuss more is about we as a country consuming our own goods.
Oh, how is that so? Are we not supposed to enjoy the raw materials we get?
Yes, we need to enjoy the raw materials, process them into products. And ourselves as citizens, we need to enjoy the products before we even export them.
Okay.
Because when we only export, and ourselves, I don't even remember, I've not eaten chocolate in the last 6 months.
Why?
I've not eaten chocolate in the last 6 months. But somebody in Netherlands, they play with chocolate. So when the outside community, which is the foreign, they close their doors for us, we will suffer. Because we don't consume what we produce. That is why during COVID-19, our economy was in what? It was in shatters. Sure. In fact, the test of a robust economy is not in good times. It is in bad times. So if your economy goes down in bad times, it means your economy itself, it wasn't strong at all at the first place.
It was very weak.
The roof was just beautiful, but the foundation is weak. The class 1 and the class 2. They are weak. Okay. So agro-processing will open the door for employment for the youth.
Okay.
But you are a finance expert. Money has been our challenge. Do you think we could have done this without much money into the industrialization business?
Money is key. In fact, cash flow is the blood of an economy.
Exactly.
We need money. And how do you get money? We get money by exchanging value. We need to show the world that we have the resources. We have been blessed with nature. If the Western people, they had the opportunity to grow some of the things we are growing here, Africa would collapse. They will actually recolonize us again. Because sometimes they are disadvantaged in terms of climate. They are disadvantaged in terms of weather. That's why we are happy doing our production. Go to China, they are finding ways of producing cocoa. When they achieve that against the weather and climate, we'll be out.
Exactly.
But when we come to top cocoa exporters, Netherlands is number 5.
Why?
They are actually like retailers of cocoa. They are middlemen for cocoa. So they come to Africa. Ghana, we export 71% of our cocoa to Netherlands. So they come and they buy the cocoa from us, whether the pods or the beans, whatever it is, we've not processed it. So they buy it from us and they take it to Europe, standardize it, and now they redistribute it to their European countries and US. That is why they are not top producers, but they are top exporters of not chocolate, but of the cocoa beans itself.
But when you check the statistics, I think Ghana is doing half of what Cote d'Ivoire did
Yes.
in 2023.
Yes, we actually import cocoa from Cote d'Ivoire.
Ghana.
Yes, the statistics is there. I have this record.
So with this issue,
We import cocoa from Cote d'Ivoire to balance our cocoa production.
Huh.
on this same issue of industrialization, we know government too has a lot of policies in supporting small businesses. For example, we have the SME Growth and Opportunity Program,
Yeah.
which is there to finance small businesses. I think all this is with the intention of them moving from the aspect of just producing to processing. So would we say that we need more policies like this to support the various SMEs and also support the various industries in moving from the aspects of production to just processing? Or you think there are more we need to do as a country?
You know, that policy is a good policy.
1D1F.
Yeah, 1D1F is a good policy. Just that the implementation of that policy has not lived up to expectation. Because if I'm in Ablikmanov and I have a functional factory there, if I'm in Anyasutu or Gas Central District and I have a factory there, and the government has brought funding, $1 million for every constituency, we shouldn't be here by this time. So the policies are nice. That's why I told you I love your tagline, beyond the policy. Is implementation. And I told you that industrialization is about transformation.
Yeah.
And to do transformation, you need transformative leaders, radical leaders, who can put their feet on the ground and take critical actions.
You don't think we have one? You don't want to go there. You continue with the submission.
Exactly. So we need people who can, the visionary leaders.
Okay.
We need visionary leaders. We need people that can go to these Western countries and copy from them and come and implement. I told you we're in class 2. People are in class 7. We should go and copy their work.
But our people have been going there, they school there, the leaders, that's what they did, economics courses and all of this stuff. So what is really the problem?
So the problem is with the education system. Truly. The world is moving very fast with technology. Now we are here. We are talking about AI. We are talking about metaverse. We are talking about blockchain. We are talking about cryptocurrencies. These things are not taught in our high schools.
Yeah.
Even if you get to the university level, you will not get to hear some of these things. Our educational system is backward. We need to bring technology, coding, into our educational system. And our leaders moving out, we need to send people out there to do internship in the factories, in the industries. We shouldn't send people there only to go and school. Because if you go and school, the industry you are actually fitting the people is in the service sector. But before service sector can expand, you need your manufacturing sector to do well. You need your agriculture sector to do well before the services can actually. So if you look at most of the developed countries, their service sector in comparison with the GDP is big.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the agricultural sector is small. It's small because they are not dwelling on the agricultural sector. They are processing it into what? Into the industries.
Industries.
So we need internship. All of us, we need to go for internship in Asia, China, India, in their factories, not to go to school. We have a lot of schools teaching us liberal courses, humanities. We have a lot in Ghana. We need courses in engineering. We need courses in machine building.
There have been a lot of introduction of courses.
The
Our education
TVET,
system.
for instance.
Yes, the TVET, for
Yeah.
instance. And recently, we know a lot of technological courses being introduced into our secondary school. So would you say that the implementation process, or there is an issue with our education system, as you are saying? Is it the implementation process that is the problem, or there is something that is not, we are not known of?
Yeah, I think apart from the implementation, it needs to be widespread. You know, you mentioned TVET. A lot of parents don't even know about TVET. When their kids finish JHS, they want all of them to push into secondary schools.
Yeah.
In fact, when we're going to school, if we hear people going to do technical, we think those guys are those who didn't pass.
Yeah.
But those who did the science, the business, those are the guys. I did business in Mali school.
Oh, okay.
In fact, according to the curriculum, if you complete SHS business, you should be able to create and manage your own business. According to the curriculum.
In Ghana now?
In Ghana.
In Ghana now, it's not like that.
But our teachers, the people teaching us the business courses, they don't own business. They've not registered business. They don't file, they don't do business taxes. A lot of them. So the people we are learning from have not created companies. Okay. How can we look up to them and create companies as a business student?
I know you have a question, but before that, let's take this quick break and we'll be right back. to Rabbit's business, and he is in the person of Mr. Stephen Kwashi. But now we have a farmer on. He is in the person of Mr. Joseph Boachi Yadom. He is online now. We'll talk to him and get his input on this conversation. Hello, sir.
Good morning, madam.
Hi, good morning, sir. Welcome to Cocoa Digest Morning Show. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you and the family?
We are doing great. Thanks so much for asking. Yeah, so we are talking about moving beyond commodities. I learned you are into poultry.
Yes, please.
Okay. So talking about industrialization, what's your input based on what you do?
Good morning and thank you for having me on the program. I think the diversification of the commodity market, we are talking about Ghana moving away from relying on exporting raw materials like gold, cocoa, timber, and all of that, and adding value to it. When you look at the comparative advantage that Ghana has, I think Ghana has a comparative advantage in the agricultural sector, where we can add value to our raw materials and then add value to it so that along the value chain, we create employment and sustainable development for this country. So it is a key development strategy that should have a national development agenda and a plan that will establish the procedures and standards that need to be taken to ensure that as a country, we don't only export raw commodities, but then we add value to it so as to increase the value of whatever we are exporting. Let me give you a typical example. Ghana poultry industry is capable of creating over 5 million employment over the next 3 years if there is a dedicated national policy to increase the poultry production, to give us enough chicken to eat in this country and export outside. And there is a lot of opportunities in even our West African sub-region. We can export to Nigeria, we can export to Ivory Coast, Senegal, and all of that. And when you look at the production aspect, when I'm talking about the value chain of the poultry industry, you're looking at the production, which is the farm. And the farm extends to, because we use a lot of grains. So the farming, which is the production of the chicken, extends to our grain commodity sector, whereby there is a lot of support for people to grow enough maize, soybean meal, and all that, so that the poultry industry gets enough grain to be able to do the production. After the production, we will have to have processing facilities. And most of the chicken that are imported into this country, I have always said that a rich person in those countries might not even give that chicken to their dogs. and it's mostly because, you see, some of these processing companies processing, let's say, 3 million birds a day. 3 million chickens a day. So they use the best parts that they want. The other ones, even how they even handle it, so no one knows. Then what is done, it is exported to us. But then, if along the value chain, Ghana is able to even process 500,000 birds a day, and this 3 million birds I'm talking about, it may be, they may be having 4, 5, 6, up to about 10 processing facilities that are doing this, having that capacity. Now, if Ghana alone is having a 500,000 bed capacity, it can employ a lot of people along the value chain. It will create a lot of employment. And when it comes to the marketing aspect, now we import these chicken and then we market it for those companies. So we are creating employment for those people. So if we are moving away from the commodity, we can, and we are capable. As a country, we are capable. It's not like we can't do it. Just that we need a national consensus and policy and dedication to do it.
All right, but governments have tried to bring up policies to help this industrialization agenda. Hasn't that been effective?
Over the years, some of the government policies have been created or developed with good intentions, but then the practical realization of that is the problem, because most of the time, as far as I am concerned, and especially in the poultry industry, you see, the wrong people are appointed or assigned to execute, so it becomes difficult. And there was a national policy during the NDC time where they did a broiler revitalization project. That was to ensure that whoever imports chicken into this country takes about 40% of whatever they are importing from a local supplier. At a meeting, I told them that's even too much for us.
Yeah.
Because we need to tread cautiously. We need to increase by, like, according to our capacity.
Hello, sir.
This company. Hello.
Okay. Please go ahead.
Yeah, Ghana poultry industry is not producing even 5%. So if you tomorrow come and say we should produce 40%, it's impossible.
Okay.
We can put measures in place, give us 10 to 15%, and ensure that is practically realized. Then we build up on it. But then it became an issue where people took advantage of the system, just gave these imported letters to say they are giving them the 40%. So it's even the same poultry farmers who killed that policy.
Okay.
So even though it was a government policy intended for good, the people who were supposed to implement it may fail.
Okay.
So sometimes these government policies are intended for good, but then the people who are in charge of executing and ensuring that it works sometimes fail the country. So going forward, I think we need to identify those people who are willing to do it. For example, in the poultry industry, as a poultry farmer, I always use the poultry as an example. There has been a lot of government intervention at international corporate institutions like the Mastercard Foundation are doing very well. But then we are not actually realizing our potential well. So I think they'll review it, and then going forward we can have a good. We politicize everything, and therefore whatever you say, it is either looked at as you're coming from here and you're talking against this person, or you're coming from here. Those things are not helping. If we will have a national policy, get people who have the expertise. I was at a seminar and we identified that in Ghana there are political farmers. There are certain farmers who become very visible when a certain party is in power.
Yeah.
And they move away, or you don't see them anymore when another party comes to power. But then when you go to these developed countries, some of these sectors, like the food industry and certain key, they don't politicize it. But we live in a country where everything is politicized, and then this party comes and they sabotage this person they perceive to be from here and all that. But then if you are looking at the broader picture and the national development plan, you don't care who is doing what. But then as long as the person is doing well for the betterment of the country, creating employment, you should support the person. So I think in the next 4 years, if we have a sustainable and practically realizable measure, because some of also their measures are not practically realized. They are in theory they are good, but then practically you can't implement them for the ultimate goal. So there's a whole lot, but then I think we need the right people at the right place at the right time to move Ghana forward.
All right, sir. Thank you so much for your submission. That has been helpful in our conversation. And I wish you all the best in your endeavors.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. So, people who are managing our resources are causing these. What do you say?
Well, I think our leaders, they need to show up.
Okay.
And own the challenges we are facing, and they should let the people know that we place them there to be able to make things possible for us. But once they are there, they are not able to manage it according to our expectation. So when they own the challenge, they accept responsibility. Some of them can even decide to resign. Because I was saying that we have OPEC, petroleum exporting countries, but do we have cocoa producing countries as an organization? No, we don't have it. That is where we come to strategic partnership, class 7.
Okay.
Cote d'Ivoire, Ghana, Cameroon, Nigeria, 4 strong countries. Our cocoa production would be over 70% of world cocoa production. Why can't we come together? Who is stopping us from coming together? The finance minister of our country and the agriculture minister, they should have an emergency meeting and talk to these finance ministers of the countries I've mentioned, and they should find a way. There is a way, but there is a blueprint, because the Igbo people, they have the blueprint. That is why even without producing cocoa, they are able to export more and export the processed one. We need to have an emergency meeting, and if there is something stopping them, we need to free ourselves. That is why I always say that we have political independence, but we don't have economic independence, and that is what is actually affecting our country.
All right, so when we place value on the raw material, it becomes expensive. Are we able to afford these?
That is another challenge. In fact, we are in multiple challenges as a country. But you know, the more the problem, the more the opportunities actually. So Ghana is actually a home of opportunities because we have a lot of problems. Now, the things become expensive because look at this. Ice block, you know, the thing, ice cubes or ice block is more expensive than the normal water because it has gone through transformation. It has moved from liquid to what? Solid. That is transformation. That is industrialization. But when you add value, it becomes expensive, and our people cannot buy. That is why we choose to what? Export some of the things. Like I was discussing with you, our income level in this country is very low. The average salary is about 2,000. It's not up to 2,600. Take away the normal food we eat, it will even take 50% of the money. Let's not talk about transportation and rent. The people, their money, they don't have money to buy. So if you produce, who will buy? Nobody will buy. So we are faced with 2 problems in terms of adding value and buying. One, because we don't have money, people don't buy. We need to increase the job for people to what? You know, get the jobs to do. And also, we have excess labor in our country. It's a problem, but it's also an opportunity. Excess labor. Strong people are in the house this morning, they are not going to work. So instead of even looking for minerals in the land, we should begin to look for minerals in the mind. In fact, there is a book here.
Minerals in the mind.
Yes. It's Minerals for the Mind. It's by Ernest Chifoje. I can give it to you.
Thank you.
And when we explore the minerals in our mind, we begin to export that one. When I mean export, we should take our people, the excess labor from this country, to fill the gap at countries where they have labor shortages at the skilled level. If you go to places like China, they will have labor shortage in the next 10 years because they placed in this one-child policy. They are having an aging population. Their people are old. They are young people. They are taking them to US and they are not returning. Very soon, China, their population, the young population, they'll be off. And Ghana too, we have a lot of youth, no job, no work to do. The employment minister or the trade minister, they should find a way to move this excess labor or excess minerals and fix them to places where there are labor shortages legally. We need to talk about legal migration so that the excess labor we have here will reduce and the jobs that we have will increase and the wages will begin to go up. Then we can consume more as a country.
Okay. Let me just do this question. I think I learned, I don't know what's the podcast part, talking about nursing. So you have the issue of the nurses going to Europe to work there. And we have a policy that then, why don't we make it legally, as you are saying, so that they go work there and the money that they get, percentage comes to the economy and percentage goes to the individual pocket. Is it a good idea?
It's a good idea. It's a good idea. Only that it is in the service sector. Okay. It's in the service sector. We need that policy in the manufacturing sector. Let us get our people to work in the factory. You see, the more you are exposed to a thing, you begin to generate ideas of the thing. So after 5 years or 10, if you return back to your country and you were working in a tomatoes factory in Italy, Italy, they do, where these are 10 tomatoes, they come from Italy.
Okay.
If I was working in Italy as a factory hand or a manager, moving the factories, and after 10 years, if you are staying in foreign land, you will not be happy most of the times. Sometimes there is this depression and tension around. Maybe after 10 years, I relocate back to Ghana. Don't you think I establish a tomatoes factory? I would do, because the experiences and the knowledge I've gotten from that factory outside, I'll come here. I have a lot of money. You see, the bloggers, they have more money. So when they can be able to do things.
Yes, so on that note, what is preventing the new private sector investors who want to invest in industrialization in Ghana? What is really preventing them? Because we've heard a lot that the system is not really conducive. It's not really friendly for them. So as an economist or as a financial expert, what do you think is really affecting this investment people?
Yeah. The key thing is the tax regime. We have a tax regime that mostly is like a disincentive for investors. Like I told you, where there are more problems, there are more opportunities, and private people would like to take advantage of the opportunity. But if the incentive is low, they will not come. So we have corporate tax, more than, or it's about, let's say, 25% corporate tax. Cost of capital is hovering because the Ghana reference rate is about 28.8% in November. So if you are going to borrow funds to work, about 29%, if you just plus or minus, is going to pay the cost of capital. Then the government will also come and take 25% of your profit.
Yeah.
The investor, the private man, is not going to be happy with it. That is why people are moving to Dubai, United Arab Emirates. They have a wonderful tax regime. They allow the people to work there, get their own money, and allow them to spend in the economy.
Okay.
So they draw them in with low tax. They come in to work, bring their investment, produce, and now the place is lively. They turn the place into a tourist something. So you will spend your money there. You make your money there, and you spend your money there.
Wow.
Okay.
Because of tax.
That's my last question before you go.
Thank you.
So, what sector do you think Ghana should prioritize for export-based industrial growth?
Still will come to the agro-processing, manufacturing sector, because we are making waves there. We need to continue. Something that you are doing well in, you need to put more effort there. There are a lot of things we can discuss. I believe one of the days you will call me for beyond industrialization. So let's focus on the manufacturing sector.
Okay.
Let's do agricultural mechanization. The one district, one factory is a good. We don't need new policies like that. We just need to go back to the old policies and implement them. If they don't implement them, they should sack them from office.
Okay.
No, we need leaders who will be radical.
Okay.
I said one district, one factory. Then you come to this district. Where is your district factory? You don't have. What was the problem? Did I give you funds? Yes. Then where is the factory? Okay, then I sack you. The government system needs to be operated like a business.
Accountability.
Accountability. Else we will go nowhere. But we can focus on the manufacturing sector and it will get us somewhere.
It's 23 days to elections. What would you say to Ghanaians?
I'll tell Ghanaians, my leaders, that they should remain calm. They should understand that Ghana is a peaceful country. And if we don't have anything at all as a country, people are proud of us because of peace. When you go out there to vote, go and vote for your choice. And when the election results come, everybody should be at peace to accept it. Because when we turn this country upside down, the suffering we are going through is going to multiply. Because our economy is based on international runnings. You know, our imports and our export is mostly focused on international trade. Yeah. When we destroy our reputation, we will be destroyed as a country.
Okay. So assuming you have all these 13 presidential candidates watching you right now, based on the topic we are discussing, change commodity, Ghana industrialization agenda, what can you tell them?
I want to tell them that when they are going rounds to speak to the citizens, one of the things that is number one is employment. The youth are looking for jobs. They should speak about entrepreneurship to the people. Because when the people have money, we are not waiting for government to put money in our pockets, but they should create the opportunities for the youth or the people, the citizens, so that they can use their own money to consume the things they want. We are not interested in free things so much, but we are interested in our own money based on the value we've produced to the marketplace so that we spend. We want to be dignified as a people.
Thank you so much for your time. I really enjoyed this. It was so insightful.
Yeah.
We will do this again.
Thank
okay. Viewers, I hope you learned something from here. And our discussions have been Ghana's industrialization agenda. We'll do this again. But until then, please take good care of yourself and have a nice weekend. Bye-bye.
Clog TV, Beyond the Policy.